Good morning, all. So, when we talk about ideas being transformed into business opportunities, it doesn't really seem so straightforward or simple, does it? But how about we actually bring people who've cracked the code and running successful businesses today? How did they do it, and what is their motivation to keep it going? So, let's find out more in this series of CX Inspire. My name is Kasturi, and I'm going to be your host for today. CX Inspire is an initiative to invite thought leaders from different industries to come forward and share their stories, by inspiring others also in their own journey. So, as the name suggests, these talks would be focused around CX, that is customer experience and satisfaction, and how different businesses work their strategies around it. So today I'm excited to invite our first guest team, Aparna and Vaishnavi from the Nestery. The Nestery is an e-commerce based brand that helps put together curated, hand-picked, mindful and parent-approved products for children and adults. So thank you so much both of you for joining us, and a hearty welcome to you.
Very happy to be here.
Hey Kasturi, happy to be here.
Okay, so tell us a little more about who came up with the concept. How did you transform the idea of the Nestery into a business and into the brand that you're today? Walk us through your brand story.
So I will take that question.
Okay.
So I started the Nestery in 2019, but the story of the Nestery really goes back a few years before that. From 2015 actually, I became a parent in 2015, and I was 26 years old. So for me, the entire experience was extremely new and extremely, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So for me, I took the support of so many Facebook groups, and that was like my place of choice, right? For finding my tribe and finding support in whatever I needed to do with parenting, right? Fun anecdote, I met Aparna there. That's how I know of Aparna as well. Right?
Okay.
And the thing is, every parent goes through this, and at some point, whatever tribe you find, it could be a WhatsApp group, it could be a building WhatsApp group, it could be your school friends, it could be any tribe that you find, right? At the end of the day, what will happen is you'll start relying on them for everything. You'll start trusting their opinions way more than you will trust, let's say, even a Google, right? Somewhere 6 months, 7 months into my journey, what I realized was, even when I had to buy anything or when I was going through something, my first port of call were these other parents, virtual friends of mine, right?
Right.
And I would be like, hey, my child is going through this, what do you recommend I should buy, right? And when I would, and actually making that purchase would be like this big rabbit hole, because every time I'd go to a larger platform, I would have to look through, let's say, maybe 40-50 pages of listings to find exactly what is right for me and my family based on that recommendation. And the process was really convoluted, because for me, I was deciding, like I was finding out where to, like what to buy in a different place. Then I was trying to go and discover it in a different place. And then maybe I was doing a price comparison and buying it at a third place. Right? And the second thing I realized is there are these amazing brands that were getting launched around that period. We saw Moms Go, we saw Super Bottoms, and like all these brands, but they were not really available very easily, or more importantly, even if they were available, like the awareness around these great Indian homegrown brands were almost next to zero, right? So to help parents discover these products, the right products at the right stage in the right way, and to basically be the single port of call where they do the discovery, where they make the purchase, all of it at one place. And that's why the Nestery was formed. Along the way, of course, I so strongly believe in that power of community that that our motto almost is like everything should be like parent approved, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter what an ad says, no matter even if like your doctor says it, you'll still go and check back with someone. Hey, isne aise bola, is this correct or wrong? Right? You'll always do that validation check with another parent, always.
Correct.
Right? So we want to be that place, and that's how the idea of the Nestery was born. I knew of Aparna because of Ask the Village as a community on Facebook and other groups that both of us were part of. And we met, incidentally, we put our child in the same school in Noida on the recommendation of another parent in one of these groups, which is why I feel so strongly about every product being on the Nestery being parent approved. And we met at a parent teacher conference. I was very scared to go and talk to Aparna, saying that, oh my god, like I have nothing to offer her, but I need this person to be on my team. And I think that was the best, most gutsiest, soul bearing thing I've had to do. Because with nothing in hand, when you have to go to speak to someone and say, please join this, it's very hard to do. But the rest is history, because I could not have wished for anyone in this universe who could be better than us to be an amazing partner on this journey.
That's so heartening
So
to hear.
I remember
Yeah.
I remember this so well. She messaged me saying that, hey, I would like to talk to you about something. I'm starting something. Would you be up for a job opportunity? Can I call you? I said, isn't this a conversation that you do face to face? Come over. So she came home, said that I have this thing that I'm starting, but I cannot pay you much. Will you be interested in doing this role? I said, what is it? She said, you have to write blogs and you have to handle social media. I said, I've done neither, but I can try.
That's the confidence, huh? Nice.
Yeah, I said I can try. If it doesn't work out, you just tell me so. And then I think that was in Jan. I still remember, I think it was Jan 17th in 2019. Vaishnavi had already onboarded 5 brands at that time. We went live on Jan 31st, 2019 again. After that initial call with Vaishnavi, right? I think I just took it on to sort of start, tying threads together, pulling things together and seeing what we can do. Slowly, I think none of us know in the core team, like when it became a full-time job. A few months later, I was also onboarding. I was also, I'm handling customer support. I was doing everything. We were a 3-people team with one more person moonlighting with us. So, yeah, I think from that time onwards, I think it's 5 brands when we started. We were really small, and now we have about, I think we are close to 650 to 700 brands right now.
Okay, that's amazing. Seriously. So when you told you tried so many things and all that wacky things, I would love to hear some more details about what did you try and what really worked, and did you actually have some learning experiences from that?
I think we've tried blogs, and blogs worked really well for us, at least to initially bring in traffic to the website. It's a long-term game, but it did work. We did giveaways. Our followership experience, the journey to 500 told us that it's better that you don't do giveaways. There are no quick methods to success. Just do what you're doing. In fact, I think we went overboard on Instagram at one point, doing like 3 posts a day, and then slowly finding our jam. We did a lot of, posts about the products on our platform. Then we scaled back on that because we realized that, people stay on a platform not for, not to buy. They might buy because, incidentally they have a need for it. But they stay there because, they are liking the gyan they are getting. Stay there because of the content and the learning and the aspiration to be a better parent. So, I think sustainable growth is a harder path. There are no shortcuts. I think you need to experiment and find what works for you as an audience, because everyone's audience is different. Everyone's product is different.
Okay. So in that scenario, so was there like an initial path that you laid? Okay, this is what I want to follow, say for next 2 years or something, and did you have to deviate from a plan or a strategy along the way?
I don't think so. I think while we had like an overall goal that we wanted to get to, I think we've done a lot of take things as it goes with broad guidelines or goal posts that we work towards. Genuinely want to say that like we've turned away like so many times when in our customer success team, right? We say that don't buy this.
Okay.
We say don't buy this because this won't suit you. This is not right for your child.
Okay.
I can make some other suggestion, but don't buy this.
Okay. So that's genuinely adding value. You're being so honest about the thing.
Yeah, like, we really don't want to be like that. At least that's not our goal. To
Correct.
be a very selly place, offer all the correct information at the right time for parents.
Okay. Okay. This is a different perspective I want to bring about. So basically, I have shopped at the Nestery, and I feel and also resonate with few others who feel that this is not really for someone who shops on a budget. Okay, so if I have to pick a category, say like kids furniture, which is listed on the Nestery, everything is so dreamy, beautiful, and you really, your heartstrings just pull you and want you to buy it. But then it is not really in the affordable range for an average shopper. All right. So is in that case, I just want to ask you: do you really cater to a particular audience for, say, this product is this for this audience, or is it something like that, or how do you identify your target audience?
This is a perception that we've been trying to ditch, okay? We'll wait for us, but I'm telling you anyway. This is a perception that we've been trying to ditch. Yes, in some categories we do come across as more expensive because, like for example, in furniture, right? You also want to be, like you want it to be sturdy, okay? You also don't want it to look like super tacky, right? There's a certain like visual guide that you want to go to, but in our most major categories, right? If you think about toys, books, or clothes, even most things are like, for example, in books are like average price point is around 100, 200 per book.
I've
Okay,
purchased
this is
books.
fine,
Yeah.
right? With respect to toys, our toys start as low as like again 60, 70 rupees, right? And there are stuff across the district. It's just that what we focus on more than price is safety and quality. Not every brand that lands up like basically like applies to be on the Nestery gets in. Okay, there's a lot of gatekeeping that we do,
Right.
and so that's, I think it's safety and quality. Like in all our other categories, we do have things across the price range. Maybe we need to work on showcasing the lesser priced one-ups. Maybe this is a note for us.
No. I just kind of
That's
wanted
a valid point. We hear this all the time, and you're not the first person I'm hearing this from. In terms of target group, we want to be slightly aspirational. Okay. We don't like, because we want to be slightly aspirational, but that doesn't mean inaccessible.
I think I want to address this. Yes, a lot of the furniture, like because you pick furniture, a lot of the furniture is expensive, but also the cheaper furniture just doesn't, stay intact in transit. Okay, we are very mindful of customer complaints as well. You're buying something online for the first time, and it's a product that you want to keep for a long time, and if it comes to you damaged and it gets damaged in transit, it's very painful. A lot of larger marketplaces have all the bandwidth possible to cover this. We are mindful of this, and we are slowly covering that. So the first products that we got admittedly are the brands that actually came into us. But now we are slowly covering that gap by going after, like doing concerted BD efforts to go after brands that we want, which we think will cover that gap in the price point.
Right. Okay. So of course, this is a very typical competitive, business domain that you're working on. So how did you actually, tackle that, and what really helped you to create your brand presence in the market?
Brand presence is only content. I will say only content. I think and even the way visually our logo really resonates with people. So the second piece of it is, of course, content. We've been, like I said, genuinely want to add value.
Right.
We take great efforts to write the content that we do, and write verified content. And I think that has brought us a lot of followers, lots of people who resonate with what we do. Similarly, like again, the Nest is a place where we get a lot of brand love. Because people see that as a really warm space where they can open up, where it's not very pushy, or where it is, although it's run by a brand, it can technically get pushy, right?
Correct. But I don't think you get that vibes at all in that space.
Yeah, that's something that we've done very consciously. So I think content and community is how we've built our brand presence. But the space itself is, I think I would say that a fairly open space to get into, not e-commerce, but parents and kids e-commerce.
Correct.
I think it's an interesting space to be in an interesting time.
One more thing I would like to add is early on, right, our focus was on a lot of Indian brands. I actually go as far as to call them indie brands. That really helped because a lot of the competitors were not having those similar brands with them. Our focus on indie brands also helped push us forward in terms of, customer, interest, because
Right.
a lot of the brands that are available on our website were not available on other
Yes, right.
platforms.
So, what is it that makes customers want to keep coming back and shop at the Nestery? Like repeat customers. How do you engage them, or how do you keep making them come back?
I think we have a phenomenally good return rate. Okay.
Okay.
People, once they shop at the Nestery, a lot of them come back. We've seen people place like 26, 36, 46, 56 orders like that, like, back to back. So it's a platform that is very sticky because we are trying to solve something like problem, like primarily of discovering great products at the right age for a child.
Correct.
Because that's what we want to do. Like basically we want to say that I won't give you 50,000 options, but I may give you only 5, but we know that those 5 you can like trust fairly blindly, right?
Right.
I mean, you'll always have to do it, but then the thing is, with intent, we try and pick the best of what is available out there. So yeah, so that's essentially what I've heard is it's like someone has done the thinking for me. I've heard this from a customer, right?
Okay.
So that's essentially why people keep coming back.
Okay. Awesome. So, do you actually have any other tools like apart from reviews on your website to get customer feedback and assess customer satisfaction?
Ups, do you want to take this?
We actually regularly speak to customers. In fact, when there are new brands launched on our website and there are orders, we make it a point to speak to customers to understand how is their experience, because it's a two-way process, right? Customers leave reviews when they are not satisfied, but at the same time, us outreach, reaching out to them to understand whether the brand actually, works for them is
Really
what,
help them.
helps
Help the
us.
cause.
Yeah, because we are constantly onboarding brands. So, that is one way we can also monitor customer satisfaction, because I lose that customer if that customer never comes back to my website because the product was not to their satisfaction. But I can sort of call that customer maybe for the first 5 orders of a brand, right? You will see us calling customers to see whether, they were satisfied with that product, because it also helps us, maintain the sanctity of the supply chain. And then we monitor metrics also in terms of, how many complaints we are receiving in with a brand. If a certain threshold is, exceeded, right? Then what we typically do is we call the brand, we have a chat with them and tell them we are delisting that particular product. If there is one particular product
is concerning. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have heard this adage, right? The customer is always right. So are there any difficult customer experiences which taught you lessons, and rather how do you face deal with criticism, maybe from a bad shopping experience, or is there any interesting story that you'd like to share?
Go for it.
The biggest difficulty running an e-commerce marketplace, right, is to say no to returns. Okay. Right. It's very hard. We experienced it during the pandemic when customers forever wanted to return products, but brands were not taking products for reasons of child safety. It was one very difficult time for us because we were also catering to children and we didn't want any cross contamination. Even today, there are products that are not returnable for reasons like books in general. Okay, books, flashcards, stuff like that, right? We can't return. We can't take returns because they don't last the journey. They don't last the journey.
Also, you can't possibly sanitize every page of a book, right?
It's not even sanitization, Kasturi. It's more about it won't be resaleable, right, if we pick it up.
Correct.
Okay, if we pick it up, and paper products in general, very difficult to return. Also, correct, products which have like multiple parts in it. It's very difficult for us as a a smaller platform to ensure that customers are bringing and putting in all components of the product inside the box, and the bandwidth is simply not there. So,
but that said, we have very low rate of returns.
yeah,
Our rate of returns is like something like 3% of our total business, which is like very low. Right? See, that's like Aparna is saying this for that volume, because traditionally e-commerce companies, depending on the category that you operate in, can go up as high as 25-30%, because you have to be fair to your brands. You also have to be fair to your customer, and sometimes that means saying no on either side, which may not be okay to either side, but it's something that you have to do. So that's where
I think one thing I have always told the support team, right, is to call the customer and tell them honestly what is the problem, why you can't take this particular return. Because I think while we automate returns and this product shows as non-returnable, what happens is there are customers who will still come on an email and tell you, that, why are you not allowing me to return this product? Everyone takes returns. Everyone doesn't take returns. Okay. That's the biggest myth that is perpetuated. Amazon doesn't take returns for books. But it helps when there is a person talking to the customer to explain what is our stance and why we can't take that particular return. More or less, the returns is one place where it's very difficult to, say no and also say yes.
So when it comes to your, brand, Nestery as a brand and a business, what are the top three, critical elements that you generally focus on? Like if you have to pick three main things.
I think the first would be quality. Okay, because we are a children's marketplace catering to children, so quality and safety come primarily as the first point. We don't onboard things that don't look safe. For example, every carrier on the Nestery would be ergonomic. Right. You wouldn't find those generic products that have the child hanging without safe buckles. So that is one thing that we've always held on to, not compromising on quality for the sake of quantity.
The second thing that is very important to us is building that value add to that parent, right? Like constantly thinking, are we adding value here? Are we giving them the right reasons for making this purchase? Are we giving them the right kind of support for whatever they are going through, for which they are coming to this page to make this purchase? Right? So for example, if let's say you go and search for a swim diaper, you can know that your child is either going to swim or you're going to go on a vacation, right? Yeah. Am I able to add the right value there? Or for example, let's say if it's a lacing and sewing toy, like your child would probably be around 3 years old, right? So like what other things can you offer to your child that can help with fine motor skills, right? Because that's what you're trying to improve by giving them like sewing toy. Like you care enough to know that helps with that, so that's why you're on that page. Right?
Okay. So basically you kind of have it like a feedback mechanism that these are the kind of things which are being bought. So you also add content pertaining to that thing, and you add more brands which cater to that particular product.
We call this contextual recommendation. Basically, we think we know why you are buying something, so we show you things that make sense for you in the context. Yeah, in the context that you are looking at.
Okay, that's awesome. So again, do you have any kind of tools to help you do this better, more efficiently, or do you really have to do it all manually, or how is it like? Like generally, when you say customer satisfaction, is just the way contextual recommendation.
For customer satisfaction, apart from reviews on the website, of course, there's Google reviews and like Facebook page reviews. Those anyways happen. Apart from that, we use a tool called Capture, which is our CRM, through which we can trigger customer service CSAT surveys. Correct, right?
Surveys. Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically the tool that we use to gauge it.
The actual inbox tells you the story. Forget about capture, forget about everything, reviews, everything. You take a look at your own inbox, which is linked to your customer query, and you will know whether customers are happy or customers are not.
And you'll know exactly what problems that they're going through. People are asking, where can I find this? I need help with this product. That means not enough product information is there. So that's a problem to solve. If someone is coming and saying, where is my order? Where is my order? Like 10 days, if people are saying that something is wrong in logistics, right? If people are saying that, things are broken, like there's a problem with logistics where like things are broken in transit, and also like to check with the brand whether they are packing it properly, right? The answers are all there. That more than any customer satisfaction survey, I think if what people are writing into you, that really tells you the real story of where the problems lie.
Yeah.
Okay. So have there been any investments or initiatives that you expected, okay, this was going to really work when, boost your sales, but in reality, it really didn't work as expected. It had backfired. So you had to totally come up with a new strategy altogether.
So discounting as a strategy, right?
Right.
We were of like, because everyone does, like e-commerce in India is all about deep discounting.
Yeah.
So we figured, okay, let's try this, right? And we deep discounted. We were like, 30% over and above whatever the brand is giving, we'll give, right? Like I had shared earlier, it's not a strategy for everyone. It depends on whom you are going after, right? It also cheapens. Like for example, we are going after, let's say, tier 1, tier 2 audiences, right? Tier 2 city audiences, for whom they are paying that additional value because they feel like the product is worth that value, right? We are artificially bringing down the price, even if like just to bring more people in. It kind of cheapens the value of what value that they are seeing in that product.
Correct.
Right? So discounting as a strategy is not for everyone. It does work. I will not say that it doesn't, but it can impact you long term. So that's something that we learned the hard way. But we are very mindful about how we do it, and we are very mindful about basically how we do it. The second thing that kind of is not really a backfire. It's something that does really well for us. We work with a lot of creators to help them set up their storefront. Okay, so for example, let's say like you have a followership like of people who follow you because you give great advice on like gentle parenting, right? Let's say I give you a store saying kasturi.in where you like basically curate your favorites from the Nestery store for your audience.
Got it.
So it works really, really well for us as a channel, but it kind of helped us do all the wrong things on the SEO front. But we all live and learn. I think we are well on our way to fixing those issues now. But but it's something that I very strongly believe in that channel because, for example, things that you've used, you can recommend to people.
Okay. So you've kind of use the help of influencers to market your brand. Is that what you're saying?
No, we don't go to the traditional, influencers who are doing that, but
someone who shows you how to use a product rather than just says, there is this discount, buy this product.
Correct.
Someone who actually weaves in the product in the course of creating their own content versus saying buy this. It works very well, and because they are helping parents through other content and not just this sort of content, right?
Correct.
There is a inherent trust built in that person from the customer's end.
But we take care of doing one thing. We don't get involved in the curation because I believe that we shouldn't, right? So that's something that we are very particular about because that's how you add value to parents again.
So do you have any message that you would like to share to the audience or, the future entrepreneurs who want to pursue their dreams just like you did?
So I think what I would say is go all in when you are, starting something. Don't do anything halfway. Go all in when you're starting something and you will reap the rewards of it. Or you will have like really great learnings to tell you why not to have gone all in. Either way.
Okay.
For me, the one thing that I'd like to say is know your risk capacity before starting. Have your finances sorted for the next 2-3 years at least, because it's going to be like a really tough road.
Right.
You may or may not get paid. It's at least 2-3 years of financial runway for yourself and your family
Correct.
that you need to absolutely set aside.
Right.
Yeah.
Without which I don't think it's a wise idea. And you have to be very realistic, right? Because, like Vishy says, entrepreneurship should not be a pathway to poverty. And for me personally, the greatest life lesson is पूछने में क्या जाता है. Ask and you will receive. But if you don't ask, you'll get nothing.
That's I think it was one of the most heartful conversations I've had in a very long time, and which can actually add value to even the audience who are listening to this. So thank you so much again both for joining, and hope we'll catch up in a different phase where maybe Nestery is probably the top one number one brand in India, hopefully soon. So thank you so much again, both of you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
asking the hard questions as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I had a wonderful time.
Yeah, and let's catch up in person sometime, Kasturi.
Yes, we should.